Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group in Keller Williams Realty, and it is a fabulously beautiful day here in Johnson City. It's April, and spring is here, and flowers are blooming, and birds are singing, and deer are running, and it's just, right out of a storybook. And I am excited because we do talk about flavors, and today we are talking about a lot of them with our friend Nathan Brand. This is his second time on the podcast. He is with Timber with an exclamation point. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back, I should say.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, you're a old pro now. So.
yeah, I'm an old hand.
Yeah. I didn't have the pleasure of interviewing the first time our friend Leighton Hart.
That's right.
So Leighton probably I actually listened to it. It was a fantastic podcast.
Yeah.
It caused Carly and I to go check out Timber. It was awesome.
So, that's so cool. Well,
yes. That's our goal here today. So you guys listen to the podcast, turn it off and then just drive straight to Timber.
Yeah.
And you can meet Nathan in person. So I hadn't met him. I watched him cook our food in the back. And
right on.
It was you.
Right on. Yeah.
So it was fantastic. So thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Johnson City Living. We always hit you up. First question. What is your favorite thing about Johnson City, Mr. Brand?
Oh, wow. Well, we moved here about 8 years ago now. Mm-hmm. So I've really had a chance to, be a part of the city fabric and meet a lot of the folks. Mm-hmm. Being from Atlanta, I got to say, one of the best things about it is the weather. Yeah. I couldn't live in Atlanta anymore. It's too hot, too humid. And on a day like today, you really remember why we all love it here. Yeah. What a beautiful spring day.
Yeah, it is fantastic. It's like 57 degrees. It's going up to about 70.
Yeah.
It's going to be perfect.
It's
Sun's
perfect.
out. It is gorgeous. Everything's green, too. I love spring. It's just a renewal. Everything's green and beautiful. And so, yeah. Okay, well, we didn't come to talk about spring. We came to talk about timber. So, refresh our listeners, if they had listened to the last one, about how'd you get inspired to start a restaurant and call it Timber? You look like a woodsman. You've got just an awesome beard. You can't see him, but he looks like he has a chainsaw in this bag he brought, and just is cutting down trees left and right.
Yeah. Well, Timber is, an amalgamation of so many things. My training as a chef, certainly. I have two amazing partners in the business, and so much of the design and the aesthetic and what we serve, the food and beverage, is due to their input as well. But it's also, when we started it, we wanted it to be a reflection of the community and to employ community people. A lot of the people that work with us live in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. We called it Timber as a sort of little Tree Streets joke,
Gotcha.
Reference, and so it's, our goal is to be a neighborhood restaurant.
That's awesome.
And that, my training as a chef, led me to develop the menu in a certain way. And, I am an outdoorsy guy. I'm an Eagle Scout, and I'm going backpacking next week. And so, that I think a lot of the people that work with us also have those interests.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of living here, is just the beauty of the outdoors. And
and you can get backpacking really quickly and easily.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Lots of cool places to put up a tent and
that's right.
hang out with nature. So, that's cool. So, for our listeners, what's your address on Walnut?
Yeah, it's 415 West Walnut. You can identify us by the giant hole in the ground in the street out front.
So for you listeners who are listening, one of my friends out in California, and we got another guy out in Washington, the street has been torn up now for 9 months.
It's a year.
A year? Okay, good full year. The city is working on that Walnut Street corridor. They're trying to connect ETSU with downtown. Is that right?
That's right, and that was why we wanted to put the restaurant there. We wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. So you saw it ahead of time.
We saw it ahead of time. We knew it was going to happen. We partnered with the landlord, who's just the greatest guy, and we knew that that's where we wanted to put the business, because we wanted to be a part of that redevelopment. I live just 2 blocks behind the restaurant, just a couple streets back, so that's where me and my family live, and we knew that this was coming, and I gotta say, it's certainly been painful. I have some fun stories I can share if you'd like, but it's just gonna be so badass when it's done. It's gonna be really cool.
Everything they've done with that whole, anything that Johnson City's done well, they do it well.
They really do. I mean, it's one of the reasons, I think I mentioned in the last time I was here, it's one of the reasons that we moved here, because we came and saw Founders Park and all the things they had done, and we were just blown away. What a great city to...
Yeah, I don't know who was on the commission at that point that
Yeah.
had the vision, or who in the city, maybe city planners or whatever, to say, oh, instead of just a stormwater retention pond, let's build a beautiful park, right? That handles it all. Of course, it's not beautiful now because they're tying all the stormwater in from your side of the road, but it'll be awesome when they get done.
It absolutely will be, and everyone in the neighborhood's so excited. And I'll be honest, it really hasn't seemed to hurt business that much, which has been a huge blessing for us.
Well, and
unexpected.
And you can probably attest to this. And I think our community wants to help each other, right? And so that's one of the best things about Johnson City, that we love and want to take care of each other. And I mean, and it's walkable to the Tree Street. So for the listeners, the Tree Streets is we call it the Tree Streets because they're all named that, like Locust, Pine, Maple, and you're just one street off Maple Street.
That's right.
And so it's just a beautiful area, lots of diversity there. I think it's great. You see big time rich folks living over there, and then you also see people like me down there. So
that's right.
It all works out well, and I think it's a beautiful area, sidewalks, big trees. It's just gorgeous.
It's a great neighborhood.
And people just walk to, you can walk to your restaurant and eat dinner and walk right home.
That's right. I have identical twin boys.
Cool.
They turn 4 in a couple days.
Oh my.
Yeah.
You've got your hands full. No wonder you're going backpacking.
And we can walk them to school. It's just a very walkable neighborhood. Probably has the highest walkability score of any neighborhood in town.
It is awesome. Yeah. We love it over there. All right, let's talk about timber.
Yeah.
It's not a fish and chips place or just a greasy spoon. What is it? What's like the one? Let's go back a little bit. Sorry, I'm going to digress.
Yeah.
Where did you get your culinary skills?
Yeah, well, I started working in the restaurant business sort of by accident when I was 14. Worked at a Haagen-Dazs, and I kind of fell in love with it. I did the customer facing, serving ice cream, and
I love ice cream.
Went from there to Cold Stone, which was even more fun, and after that, I started working in coffee shops. So I went off to University of Georgia in Athens. Oh, yeah. I'm from suburban Atlanta. So went off to school, started working at a coffee shop, got really into it, worked at another one, and then realized that I was really only tasting a couple flavors all day, and I wanted to dig deeper. And I never cooked anything, but growing up, my family grew all our own food, and so...
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I kind of it's a long story, but I found my way into a kitchen job, and I didn't know anything. Had no idea how to cook. I would burn water, and they taught me everything I needed to know, and became a sous chef at that restaurant. I worked there for a while and fell in love with it. And my wife, I met my future wife, Diana Moreland, in Athens. She was finishing her doctorate. She's a psychologist. She's at ETSU.
Cool. My dad did his postdoc work at UGA.
Oh, very cool. Go Dogs.
Yeah.
And we moved off to Richmond for her to finish her training. Worked at a couple restaurants there while I traveled around the country. I had the chance to go to New York and cook. Unpaid internships called staging.
Oh, cool.
In the culinary world, the chef world, and so I got to do that. Got to go to Copenhagen. Went to Denmark for a summer.
That's awesome.
Went out to the San Juan Island chains.
Did your wife go with you on
Lummi Island? She did not go because their work is hardcore.
So
15-hour days every day, and so that I got a lot of great opportunities for professional development. So when it came time to move down here, I felt pretty ready to find some folks and build the dream, which was my own restaurant.
Yeah. So when did you guys open?
So we opened August of 2019. It's a very different. Yeah, something happened. It's a very different world back then.
There was some sort of pandemic that should never be mentioned.
I heard about that. Yeah,
I don't know that it came through here, but
it was dark times for everybody in the restaurant business. So we closed for a few months, like everybody did, but we reopened and we battled our way back.
Yeah,
and we gutted it out, and we're still here.
And now you're thriving.
Mm-hmm. And
when the corridor's done, even more people are going to just be pouring through there probably.
You know, and we are, I mean, if you're listening to this, make a reservation because we're getting slammed. People are ready to go out, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, give our listeners a tip. How far out? Like a week?
Yeah, I make reservations there sometimes because I'm able to come in with friends and family, and so a week is usually pretty good.
Okay.
But they're open up to a month, so you have plenty of time.
There you go. Yeah.
So if you're trying to make graduation reservations right now,
Let's do it.
Yeah, get on there.
That's right. Get on there. My wife's a planner, so she'll use
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, which is good because I kind of like, hey, let's go to Timber. Well, people are out the door right now.
That's
we
right.
Can't get there. We can sit out in the street maybe and watch people.
That's right.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so tell me, you opened and then you were the head chef, and now
I was, yeah.
and now you've stepped out of that role. Talk about that a little bit.
So when I went out to Lummi Island off the coast of Washington State, I was staging at this restaurant called the Willow's Inn, which is not there anymore. But some listeners may have heard of it. It was a 21-course tasting menu restaurant, so it was pretty hardcore. About 1,000 plates a night went out.
Holy cow!
Huge team of cooks, and I was just there for a month to learn. But I met this really amazing cook named Josh, and Josh and I stayed in touch after I moved back to JC, bought a house, started a family, and Josh wanted to come out and check it out here, and he loved it. Yeah. And so he and his wife moved here, and he's now the chef of the restaurant, and I gotta say, he's extraordinarily talented.
Gotcha. Now that frees you up to do what? More managerial stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely. It's been a interesting transition for me. I get to work on the business instead of in the business now, which is
which can really be difficult if you were used to just day to day, like getting in there and grinding, and now you're kind of like, oh well, I'm kind of got to look down the road and.
And that's been great. That's been great. It was very challenging to my identity at the beginning of that transition because I've always been a chef.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going with that.
Yeah, but I'm loving it now. The big reason that I needed to do that was because my kids, they needed more daddy time, and being gone in the evenings would really mean I just don't get to see them at all. Right. So, I'm able to be with them every night, and they have their first soccer game tonight, and, it's going to be really great.
It is great. Those are the ages where you're like, no, you're going the other way, and,
They just clump around the ball.
Yeah, or like they find a butterfly or a flower or something, like, hey, this is more important than that,
It's very cute.
Yes, it is a blast, and we have like an unbelievable soccer complex over there at Civitan.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of fun. Are you coaching soccer?
I'm not coaching this year. I definitely would like to. I just didn't want to commit, and I wanted to make sure they liked it.
Right.
But I started U8 and then played, until high school.
Oh, good.
Okay. So I played a lot.
Some soccer
I still
skills.
play. I'm still on some rec teams around here.
Yeah. And we do have a huge rec team league.
It's great. Great culture.
Yeah.
City runs a really good program. It's really special.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Met a lot of good guys out there.
Yes. We got a lot of, and really good soccer players.
A lot better than me.
Carlos Ceballos is ex-pro, I think.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. So, okay. Well, let's get off soccer and talk about the restaurant. Let's talk about food because it's early morning here. Well, not early. It's 9:19. But I'm looking at your website right now and kind of drooling a little bit to say.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's take the listeners through the menu a little bit. Talk about, I think it starts out with small stuff and.
Yes, we have 3 sections on the menu. We've got small, medium, and large. The restaurant is really, because of all the great flavors that we have and all the amazing food that Josh makes, we really encourage a lot of sharing and trying of different dishes. We have some entrees too. The braised pork shank is amazing with pork jus and grits. That's kind of a winter dish, so if that sounds good, you might want to head in and get that before it goes away.
Before it disappears, that does sound good.
We're very well known for our burger and our chicken sandwiches are super popular.
Burger, 2 patties, white American cheese, caramelized onions, Worcestershire, aioli, and hand-cut fries. I mean, that sounds fantastic.
It's delicious. Our smoked vanilla ice cream is super great. We smoke the base.
I was going to say, how do we smoke ice cream?
Yeah. We
put it in there for a little while, and then it came out just a syrup.
Yeah, and that's literally what we do. And then we freeze it using liquid nitrogen, so it gets these really tiny bubbles.
That's cool.
A lot of attention to detail. The food that we make at the restaurant is very simple on its face, but a lot of great technique.
Well, it's beautifully plated as well. Like, it just really draws your eye to it, and you're anticipating. I think it's done well all the way around. Or it's kind of like a T-shirt thing: small, medium, and large. You're going to have extra large coming out sometime.
Yeah, we actually have. We have done.
Friends.
We have done a couple extra large, like to share.
Yeah.
And we might roll out more of those. They haven't been as successful though because people want to share, so they like the smaller things.
Well, that's what we did. We went with Nate Buckmaster and his wife, and we had a bunch of
That's the way to do it at Timber, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was really good. Okay, so out of the small stuff, what's your favorite? Let's go 2 or 3, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I love the chicken liver pate that Josh is making right now. It's just like the texture is amazing. It's served with apricot marmalade and a little fresh thyme on top. It's just really an extraordinary little snack. I love that.
Sounds delicious.
Served with warm bread.
Yeah.
What are some other great...
Corn ribs are sticking out at me.
Those are fun. That's one of our most popular things.
I did have those. They were fantastic.
They're really good. Those never go away. So
corn ribs tossed in Alabama white barbecue sauce or Cajun dry rub with cumin crema.
Yeah, toasted cumin.
Delicious.
It's a very simple recipe, but it's pretty magic.
And then another interesting one. I think just the names of it is great.
Yeah,
catfish toast.
That is a really cool dish. You know, Josh is from California, and so a lot of the
he's like, I haven't seen a catfish.
Yeah. I actually don't know. I don't know if he'd ever cooked with catfish prior to this, but he makes a mousse out of the catfish with some spices and seasonings, and then spreads it on toast and deep fries the toast. It's a Texas toast, so. It's a play on prawn toast, which is a traditional Chinese dish. I think it's a dim sum dish.
Okay.
And he's played with it and made it Appalachian and pretty cool.
How do you make catfish mousse? Because that sounds
yeah. Does that not appetizing to you, Colin?
It sounds interesting. I've had lots of mousses, and I don't think I've had a catfish mousse.
Well, you really just puree it. We whip it
like crazy.
I think we put it in a food processor.
Yep.
And then they might whip it in a stand mixer as well. But I think it might just be the food processor, and it's just raw. And then we cook it. We cook the raw mousse spread on the toast. It cooks all the way through, so that way it doesn't get overly dry. If you were to pre-cook it and then cook it again, it would not be delicious.
Interesting. So. And then you guys have I think it'd be fun, probably right about now, 10 in the morning, you guys are probably experimenting with stuff and seeing if this works.
Yeah, well, a huge part of the restaurant is to subvert traditional restaurant culture and not ask you to work super long hours.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons that we're only open until 10 p.m. We were open 5 to 10 Tuesday through Saturday, closed Sunday, Monday, so people can have a weekend day off and be with their families. And they always get 2 days off in a row. And if they have friends in the restaurant, those people have the same days off.
And hang out.
But also they don't come in super early. So we try to really have enough staff that they can come in the early afternoon.
You're opening at 5. What time are they getting there? 2?
It's different. Some days they get there at noon, but most days they get there at 1 or 2.
Gotcha. Then we got a lot of prep work to do.
Yeah, it's a hustle. I just I was helping train some of the new staff this week, and so I was back in the kitchen. And they work hard, man. They work fast too. Yeah, they're very skilled back there.
Yeah, it's happening.
I had to struggle to keep up.
It's cool too because from the seating you can see back in there, so you don't get to see it all. But if you go to the bathroom, you can kind of hang out and see it all.
Absolutely.
It's really getting going. All right, so and then you got pork cheese and hand pie, smoked trout spread, and Brussels sprouts. I mean, who doesn't love deep fried Brussels sprouts?
They're so good. They're with that cumin crema. Yeah.
Okay, let's move. That's small. So go check out the small. Now we're moving into the medium.
Yeah.
What's your favorite off the medium section?
That's a good one. I think. Do you see the ricotta on there? So that's great. Josh makes a house-made ricotta. So we make our own cheese and we change up what's on top. I think right now there's watermelon radish.
And shallot vinaigrette.
And that's delicious.
Chervil,
yeah.
What is chervil?
Chervil is it's a fine herb. It's a very traditional French herb.
Okay.
It looks a lot like parsley, but very tiny. And it has a very soft, very light, maybe licorice flavor.
Okay.
But no, it's not intense.
Yeah.
And it's just a very soft herb. It's not chewy or woody like parsley could be sometimes. It's very beautiful. So we go through a lot of that.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then if you just want a bowl of fries with ketchup, go for that.
Yeah, I recommend getting all the sauces. We have a sauce flight you can get. It's fun. Yeah.
That is cool. What's your favorite sauce you guys?
Pickle mayonnaise. Josh makes a mayonnaise with pickles, a touch of cayenne, and scallion.
Ooh.
Man, it is too good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Tell me what animal-style crispy potatoes are.
Have you ever been to In-N-Out Burger by any chance?
I haven't.
Okay, well, you're missing out.
Pals a lot, which our East Coast people, we think, actually East Tennessee people think Pals just smokes everything. So.
Yeah. Well, Pals is great, but In-N-Out, if you're in California, you have to go.
Yes.
It's always my first stop when I land at LAX. I think you take a left out of the airport, and then it's on your left. I mean, I've literally
it's like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
From baggage claim to.
Yeah. Well, they do. Josh from California, like I mentioned, and so they grew up on In-N-Out, and they do fries, and they call it animal style.
Okay.
And it's a secret sauce. It's kind of like a Thousand Island in a way, but way better. I don't know what he does to that sauce, but it's
so
addictive.
Good.
Yeah. And then we have these ultra crispy potatoes that we put that sauce with some caramelized onions and some cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that sounds really
quite good. And we just launched that, and people are losing their minds. So that's pretty sweet.
You're giving them out free on the street.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, first one's on us.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, I need some of those animal-style fries, man. Come on. Okay. Buffalo pigtails sound interesting.
Yeah.
What is a pig? Is that an actual?
That's truly a pigtail. Yeah, it's just a pig's tail. It's not very long, just a few inches.
You feel bad about going and clipping all these tails off pigs?
Well, it's good that you asked that, because actually, one of the things that we like to do is try to use the offcuts, because they get tossed a lot of the time. They turn into glue and stuff, and so we have all kinds of chicken liver, pigtails, pork cheeks. On our lettuce wraps, we use beef belly. So
now, pork cheeks, are those actual? Like
the cheek. Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really, and they're
I always
good.
wondered what that was. So
they're about the size of your palm.
Yeah.
But they're very muscular. Mm-hmm. And so they have a lot of flavor. They get worked a lot by the animal.
And pigs have unbelievably strong jaws.
Yeah, they do.
And the nose bone too. They can tear up all kinds of land.
Yeah. So we love using those things to bring attention to things that might get wasted otherwise. And
that's awesome.
It's a big part of what we do there.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I was just kidding about clipping off.
I know.
And then the other thing that stands out to me is fried quail. That sounds fantastic.
It is delicious. And that's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you can get quail anywhere else in Johnson City. So that's another thing that we try to do, is have things that are different, for folks. We see our role as kind of bringing the outside in.
Yeah.
You might feel like you would have to travel to Asheville or Knoxville for something like that.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what we want to keep that.
Keep it right here in Johnson City,
Keep that money in the local economy, baby.
Yeah, watch out, quail. All right, so, and then they have other awesome stuff too. I mean, charred broccolini rice bowl sounds fantastic. And then popcorn chicken, how bad can that be?
It's so good.
Lamb meatballs, radicchio salad, charred beets. I mean, the whole list is fantastic.
It's a great menu that Josh has put together.
It is really, there's a lot of diversity there. So
there really is.
There's something for everybody.
Yep. And we, our goal is for you to be able to come once or twice a week. We have a lot of guests that do that. And so we are always changing the menu. We print the menus every day based on what we get in. We're getting into the high season of farmers markets and local produce now. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Getting green tomatoes and lettuce and soon to be corn, I believe, from a farmer in Chucky.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's just really, it's special. Try to use the local product as much as we can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into my section, a little larger and in charger.
Yeah.
Braised pork shank sounds delicious.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You said that may disappear, so we need to come get that. Fried chicken sandwich. I mean, hopefully you're beating Chick-fil-A with this. I don't know. That's pretty.
At this point, there's really no question. I mean, I'm from Atlanta, so
that's right.
I was a diehard Chick-fil-A fan,
and you're like,
but I would rather eat Timbers now because it's so much more crunchy.
Oh,
I think the only commercial chicken sandwich that I've had that has a good crunch these days is Popeyes. I like that one.
Yeah,
that's solid. But Chick-fil-A, it's not meant to be crunchy, but The crunch adds a lot, and Timbers is very crunchy.
Very crunchy.
Mm-hmm. And you can get it with the JC hot sauce that we make, which is a blend of bacon fat, cayenne, black pepper, smoked paprika. It's a very...
It's got like a little... Yeah, spicy chicken.
It's really hot. I mean, it's the hottest thing at the
His
restaurant.
eyebrows just shot up. He was like, it is really hot.
It is so spicy. In the best way.
In the best way.
Yeah.
You're sweating. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a Nashville hot style.
Yeah.
The sauce is a little different.
Yeah. That sounds delicious. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't have enough room in my stomach for all this stuff. Okay.
Well, we haven't even gotten to the bar menu.
I know. Well, and that's right. We got to start there too. So spring lettuce wraps. Carly, my wife, loves lettuce wraps. And
we always have those around.
Caramelized sweet potato. How good is that?
That's an amazing dish.
It just doesn't stop. And you can just get veggies if you want. And then back to the unbelievable 2-patty burger.
Yeah, that burger is, it's definitely our top seller. I think if you haven't had it, you got to have it. And
for you guys listening, price points. I mean, there's nothing. The pork shank is $29, but everything else is very reasonable. I mean, the burger's $14 and comes with fries. So, I mean, good luck finding that somewhere else. And it sounds unbelievable.
It's a good time over there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the bar. So.
Well, we've got an amazing bar manager, Brandon Dow. Shout out to him. He is just a total badass behind the stick. Awesome. Always coming up with great new cocktails. Yeah. So grateful to get to work with him. Such a smart guy.
So this is a good time to say, let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go, Brandon.
He lives in the neighborhood, and he's, he's been a bartender in the area for a long time. And, man, we just are so grateful to him. He makes great cocktails. He's always got some cool beers on draft. We try to always have little animals around.
Okay, yeah, that's a local one.
Mm-hmm. And then he and I collaborate on the wine menu, and we've been getting more exciting and interesting natural wines in.
Okay.
So many, interesting, unique things that you can't get anywhere else in town. So that's been
really,
Talk
to us a little bit about. I'm not a wine connoisseur. I know enough to be dangerous, but
for sure.
Yeah, talk about natural wines. Like going, hey, they are all natural, Nathan. They come from grapes that the Lord made.
Right. Well, natural wine is, it's something that hasn't quite caught on here as much.
Is it lower sulfites and stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So traditionally a lot less sulfur, farmed organically or biodynamically.
Nice.
Not always, but a lot of times there's natural wine pushes back against monocultural farming.
Okay.
So there would be other plants in the rows instead of just grapes. Maybe,
gotcha.
Let the grass grow, let the blackberries grow, things like that. Things that aren't going to take away from the grapes.
Or may even cross-pollinate a little bit, add some flavor to the soil that's being pulled out of,
Well, and I would agree with that. I mean, some of the best wines I've ever had are from these biodynamically farmed vineyards that just have a forest growing between the rows, and you can really taste the herbs.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But also wine that's made without preservatives. Mm-hmm. Some wines have sugar added to get the alcohol up. It's called chaptalization. Natural wine producers would never do that.
Gotcha.
Some wines are acidified. These are big factory wines that maybe you would buy at a grocery store.
Yeah.
But they're acidified, and they're chemically changed to be more pleasing to the palate. Not necessarily anything wrong with that, just not what I'm interested in. So we've pushed to find these natural wines on the market. And we've brought a lot of them to market, which has been really cool. That they weren't distributed here until we asked for them to come and be distributed here. But also more obscure grape varietals. So things, a lot of us, we came up drinking Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Cabernet Franc, things like that. My mother-in-law only drinks Sauv Blanc. That's like 4 or 5 varietals. There's 1,800 varietals out there.
1,800?
Yeah.
With a couple zeros on it. Really?
Yeah, it's wild. I've been reading a lot of wine books, and I just am constantly blown away by the different offerings. We have this Sardinian wine that we just got in. It's a red wine from Italy, and it's the Monica grape.
Monica?
Yeah, which I had heard of the Phoebe and Rachel grapes, but I'd never heard of the Monica grape.
I love it.
But yeah, all jokes aside, it's just crazy, and it's so delicious. Has notes of sage. and it just a little savory. We
Yeah.
serve it lightly chilled.
That's awesome.
So we're always, especially me, I'm always seeking out new things and
Sure.
things that I haven't tasted before, and that's what we try to bring to Johnson City. It's new flavors.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing? Like, yes, now, I mean, 100 years ago, you would never, one, even know about it, two, be able to get a hold of it. And so I think it's cool how the world is coming smaller with distribution stuff and how you can get anything really.
Absolutely. And, internet access, has changed everything. It changed. When I started cooking, that was when, websites like Eater and various blogs were coming online. And the only way that you used to be able to get the knowledge about certain food, certain dishes or ingredients or what have you, was through books or through traveling to go taste it. And all of a sudden, the internet opened up just this knowledge portal for you to get a wide breadth. If you still got to go taste it, you still got to, but at least you could learn about
Or
it.
go work there for a while.
Absolutely, yeah. I took that tack for a while.
Yeah, that's another option.
So that's been really special, and just listening to podcasts and reading books and going to wine tastings. Wine was really the last frontier for me, and I started to tackle it about a year or two ago, and I've just really fallen in love. I think it's it'll be a lifelong pursuit to study and learn about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
it can be expensive.
Yeah, tell me.
Let's talk about some cocktails, Nathan.
Yeah,
you got one on here that sounds a little. I don't know how to say it. Naked and Famous.
Oh, and that's a modern classic.
It is a modern classic. Little mezcal and yellow chartreuse.
Yes.
Aperol and lime. Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's shaken, served up in a coupe. And that's been a classic. We've had that. Brandon keeps that around. I love a good shaken mezcal drink. That's not a margarita. Yeah. And so I think this kind of scratches that itch.
What's your favorite on the list?
There's all kinds of great ones. One of the ones I'm really proud of that the restaurant created is a Manhattan variation called the West Walnut District. You might see that.
I see that at the bottom.
Yeah. So the Manhattan is a very classic cocktail. 2 parts rye, not bourbon. Okay, don't at me. 1 part vermouth, Angostura bitters, stirred, served up with a cherry and an expressed orange twist. But I don't know. 20 years ago. Modern bartenders started to play with it and started to make different drinks named after different neighborhoods in New York.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we decided that we would do that for our own street, West Walnut District. WWD is the zoning code for the neighborhood that the restaurant is in. And so we set out to create Manhattan variation sort of based around our values as a restaurant. So we have a really cool Amaro on there called Amaro Habano.
Yeah.
And I call it my dressing room Amaro. It's what I would drink if I was getting ready to go to the opera, which I have yet to do.
Okay. That's a little sipper.
Yeah, it has like a muskiness and like a.
Tell me about Armano. Like I had an Armano Nannino, which
Amaro.
Amaro.
Yeah, Amaro Nannino. Nice, dude.
Delicious, and it tasted like a kind of an Italian old fashioned or something. It was
it has an oranginess to it.
It was great.
That stuff is delicious. So yeah, Amaro is a category of bittersweet liqueur. And a lot of times there's a real tradition in Italy, so we kind of go to that well a lot. But, Jägermeister, German, is traditionally an Amaro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and American domestic Amari, plural for Amaro, are coming out more in the U.S. now.
That's cool.
And so we have all kinds of great stuff, man. There's people in Asheville making various ones, and some from California that we have, some from New York. So if you want to try some different Amari, we have a lot. We probably have 20 to 30 bottles at the restaurant.
That'd be good.
It's pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Just come in with like a little spoonful. Like, try this one. One of my favorites, and actually I need to tip my hat to you because listening to the podcast, I said, you make yours with Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And so I said, I'm going to do it. And so I got a bottle of 101.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's a great product.
Now they've got 101 rye.
They do, and they've had that for a while, but it just hit this market, I think.
Okay, well, I hadn't seen it, and so I've been making them with rye. And it's been fantastic.
That's great. We actually, we have a Turkey 101 old-fashioned on draft at the restaurant right now.
What? How did that even happen?
We make a big batch and put it in a keg and put it in a pressurized line.
That's smart because you're like, hey,
can crank through them. because we're so busy that
like
we have to find those laborers.
You're kind of a couple minutes or it's slowing you down.
Yeah,
good for you.
It's cool. Well, we got great team.
What else do you like on here? The paper plane too.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's also a modern classic. Paper planes are delicious.
Another Amaro.
I think there's the newest cocktail that I love on there. I don't know if you can see it. It's the Vandelay Bay. Is that on there? Mm-hmm. That's a good one. It's a little Seinfeld reference. But that's Brandon's newest cocktail. It's got a mezcal foam on top. It's just, I mean, the man's amazing. He's just such a great crafter of beverages.
It's got chrysanthemum in it.
It's cool, dude. He's got a beautiful brain.
That is
It's
awesome.
Extremely delicious.
Just the names are fun too, like Mothership Connection.
Yeah. We have fun with it over there. A lot of good times. Great staff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Imports and exports.
You have to wear your man's ear when you drink them.
That's right.
And for our non-alcoholic friends, you got a pretty good selection there as well.
Yeah. Well, I was really inspired by the Generalist here in town. What a great business. So grateful that they're here. And they just have such an amazing non-alcoholic beverage selection. I go in there and I'm always trying new stuff.
Yeah.
I tried the Phony Negroni from St. Agrestis, an Amaro manufacturer in New York.
How was that?
It's incredible. And they sell it there. You can buy it to go, but we serve it over a big cube with an orange expressed orange peel.
Yeah, so you don't feel weird like with your friends.
Dude, I drink them. They're so good. That's awesome. You don't need you don't even miss the alcohol because sometimes the alcohol will provide a little body viscosity, just that extra texture.
Yep.
And they've really nailed this one.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's delicious. We have things like that, and Brandon makes a couple great non-alcoholic cocktails on there as well.
For our friends that are bourbon connoisseurs,
yes,
how's your bourbon selection?
It's really quite good, and I would say we're kind of a sleeper bourbon hit in town. My one of my favorite places to drink whiskey here in town would be the Carnegie. Certainly, I mean, they have over 400 bottles. Yeah, Kevin is just a master curator of all things bourbon, Scotch, and rye. But Timber has a really good selection. We've got some Stag Junior back there. We've always got Rare Breed. I love that.
Oh yeah.
What else do we have? We have a really cool Kansas City rye from Jay Rieger's, and that one's really good. I think another of their whiskeys, the Kansas City whiskey, is blended with a little bit of sherry, like 1%. And so it has a little oxidative nature, a little nuttiness, a sweetness. That's a really, really cool product as well. We try to have a couple maybe more outside the box whiskeys around. So
that's awesome.
But we've got a great selection there on the back bar. You can see it if you come sit at the bar.
Yeah, that's
Talk
cool.
to them about it. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to definitely come in and do that. You also allow carryout.
Yeah, we do. We that was something that we didn't do prior to the pandemic, but it really obviously helped save the business, and so we still do it to some extent.
For the people who don't plan, like you and your wife and my wife, you can just get on and order it in 30 minutes?
Yeah, I would say 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah. Just depends. If we're really busy, then we'll try to get that food for the folks that are in the building out first. But I would say about 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the plan for Timber this summer? Like what do you, let's go a year, 6 months, and a couple of years out. What's the vision?
Well, I'm so proud, to be able to work with my partners and my staff because we really run a very iterative business. So when things happen, we're able to pivot, and we sort of built the institutional ability to do that during COVID because we had to, but now it's a real strength. And so we've been tweaking our reservation system. We upgraded that. That's been great. We are, the patio is wide open this summer, so we do that. As far as what's next, I don't know. I mean, I'm really grateful for how well it's going. We keep breaking records and keep hiring great staff to work with us. Keep trying to build a strong organization and invest in the great people that choose to be with us and work with us. Yeah,
I'm sure culture is a huge part of that. You seem like a great guy, and so trying to impart that friendly, just joyful feeling
Yeah.
to, throughout the staff to everybody who walks in the door, right?
That's right.
It's something you got to work through and continually hone.
Absolutely. And I think you see the best businesses have the best culture. It's not the businesses that sell the most, right? It's the places where the people are the happiest.
Well, and that's because they know you love, care, and will take care of them.
That's right.
And so, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. You see yourself franchising timber, getting out there, like let's build another one?
I'm probably too much of a control freak for me to franchise.
Gotcha. Maybe another restaurant across town or something.
I am sure that we have all kinds of ideas. I'm sure that I'll have, maybe I'll shoot you an email, I'll come back and tell you about them once they're, further along.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would look for some cool stuff to come down the pike in the next year or two.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, top secret stuff. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Timber owners working on some neat things. Let's say somebody who's listening wants to maybe get into the restaurant business.
Yeah.
Not here and don't open a timber here, but what would be some advice you'd give to somebody?
Well, the restaurant business is really hard. I think people that aren't, it's always been hard. I was a waiter during the '08 crisis, and so my money dried up real fast. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
I was only, 21, so it wasn't too big a deal for me. But I would, a lot of people now know how tough the business is, having watched all these restaurants close and struggle during COVID. So I would consider it carefully. You should not enter the restaurant business for the love of money. That's for sure.
Right.
It's a lot more efficient, better ways to make money if that's your goal. But if you want to, be a servant and serve people and make their lives better, and if you're really lucky, I think this is something that we achieve at the restaurant. You're able to push the food culture forward, and provide things that are challenging to people and expand their boundaries, and grow their palate and get them excited about new things. Then you can really make a huge contribution to the culture, and that's our goal, is to contribute to our local community and make it a better place to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and did you guys do like a market survey and go, hey, there's, a couple nice restaurants here, but we want to bring some other stuff. And they have their niche, they're over here doing their thing. And then we kind of said, oh, there's a hole in the market. Or no. Yeah.
We definitely did notice a hole in the market. And that was evidenced by a lot of us, a lot of our friends, and a lot of our acquaintances driving over the mountain to Asheville to go have dinner. And that's still a great thing. I do that. I mean, it's a culinary mecca. It's an amazing place. My chef friends from all over the country, they know about Asheville and they want to visit Asheville because the food is so good.
What's your favorite restaurant in Asheville?
I don't do favorites very well.
Okay.
But I did have
two?
Yeah, I did have an amazing meal at Benny on Eagle the other day, John Fleer's newer restaurant. They were making Edna Lewis's fried green tomatoes. They blew my mind, man. They were just... And Josh makes an amazing one at the restaurant as well.
I was going to say, that's coming up. You said the market's coming out with green tomatoes.
He does a great job, but these were just so... They were a different style and so incredible. And I had never actually had one of Edna Lewis's recipes before, and so I was just like really grateful that they are carrying that torch. I love there's a few other places. There's a place I'm trying to visit. It's Katie Button's newer place, Bodega. And I'm really interested in that. They have a bar. You can make reservations for the bar, which I think is really cool.
That is cool.
Tough reso to get. So I haven't been able to go yet, but that's on my list for the next couple months.
That's fun. Mm-hmm. That's fun. Okay.
But we knew that people were driving over the mountain to go eat, and so we just wanted to keep those people here.
Right.
We knew
Why drive an hour if you don't have to?
That's right. And we knew that we had the skills as a team to bring that to them.
Yeah.
We weren't sure exactly what they wanted. We're always, like I said, iterating and figuring it out what the market's looking for.
Yeah.
But we've been able to give that to them, which is really cool.
That's one of the neat things about COVID, I think, that did happen is you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to adapt and change, and like the grumpy old man on Saturday Night Live, like, I don't like things the way they you can't just stay in that, like, this is the way we've always done it and that's the way we're gonna do it.
That's right.
So it's been cool, and I think tons of creativity has come out of it on some levels, and
absolutely,
and then unbelievable business opportunities as well, like DoorDash. that's $1 million business now that just came out of a pandemic.
Totally.
So it's really neat how people think differently. It sounds like you're thinking a little differently, which is a great thing. What's something I didn't ask you I should have?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like beard oil? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. A lot of products going.
Yeah, I don't have a
keeping
beard
this thing
at all,
alive.
so yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even dip into my toe into there, but I bet the boys at CS McCullough's can talk about it.
That's where I go. Yeah, Randy's the best.
He is.
Yeah,
Man. I love Randy. Yeah.
I don't know. I would say that I'm just so grateful to be here. During this time. I mean, the last time that I came on the podcast, there were less food and beverage businesses here. Mm-hmm. Now we've got Crumb, Lazy Lady, the Generalist, Juniper. I mean, so many great.
What's the Lazy Lady? I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, new bakery over on Commerce Street.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Marin Close making amazing pastries.
When we wrap this up, we're going to Lazy Lady.
They're open Saturdays and Sundays currently.
Man.
Yeah, but I highly recommend. She's so skilled. She's got a great team over there. Beautiful
awesome.
Space. Yeah,
I love that name.
Yeah, yeah. She crushes it.
And the bakery, you're never a lazy person for sure.
So it's really cool to see the scene here develop and the people that are really passionate and make really good things and contribute to the conversation about food and beverage here in town and also regionally.
Yeah.
It's a very special thing to be a part of.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How can our listeners connect with you or Timber? Or
yeah,
what's the best way to do that? You guys on Instagram?
Absolutely. We have a great Instagram account. Shout out to Billy Wheeler who runs it. She's very skilled at doing that. It's at TimberJC. So come check us out. It's the best way to find out what's going on, if we're closed for a private event, if our power... if there was a power outage that happened the other day. That was a good time.
Somebody cut the line, digging pipe.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a great way. You can always check out our website. We update the menus on there pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So that's timberjc.com.
Yeah. Sorry, I talked over you on that one.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what gets you fired up? Like I do a little fired up video on most Fridays.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I would say, gosh, it's really new stuff. Yeah. I like traveling to new places. Yeah. I'm going to Dublin and Paris this summer. So I love to go check out new things, and I love new flavors. I see that as that's my role, is to try to help bring those in. And
R&D, you got to go to
R&D.
You got to go research
But it's also what what I'm good at and what I enjoy is seeking out new flavors and bringing them, and getting people to try new wines and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I get really excited if I taste something I've never tasted before.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
My pleasure.
I've really enjoyed getting to know you face to face. It's been awesome instead of seeing you from a distance behind the kitchen. And so I look forward to seeing you again at the restaurant for sure.
Yes, please come on by. Make that reservation.
Yeah. And so thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you all enjoyed our conversation. You got to know Nathan a little bit. Check him out on Instagram. He is a really good looking fellow with this massive beard. It's awesome. And you can just see in his eyes, he loves people and just wants to take care of you and serve you, like he said. So come out to Timber, check it out. I'm going to start being there a lot more often with my wife, Carly. And we hope you guys have a great day. Until next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group in Keller Williams. If you want to make a move to Johnson City, call us. We would love to help you. If you want to invest in real estate, we'd love to help you walk through that too and teach you how to build wealth passively that way as well. So love you all. Take care. Bye.